Hello and welcome to a very basic damage guide video for Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. So one thing I noticed when I was doing testing, when I was testing classes, was certain attacks list, like you can see the damage values, like 182 and so on. It appears, especially from the perspective of a new player, that each hit, so is like dealing certain amounts of damage, right? Like 31 and then 90. But in reality, I'm hitting 31 and then it's like adding 60, and the total damage dealt is 90 in a chain. So one way to easily test this, let's hit this unit for 200 damage. Okay, so that's like roughly 300 health lost, and then Edelgard's kind of fucking this up. Alright, and then we'll use a combo. And you can see here that we hit a ton of damage, like, you know, like 300, 100 popped up, 200 popped up. But then the total health lost based on the percentage of that enemy warrior, or that enemy fighter, is clearly like a similar value to just hitting them with this 200. So we can kind of safely conclude that as you're attacking things, the actual damage dealt is added up. So like if I just do a heavy attack, for example, and hit a 90, a pretty big chunk flies off. But if I do like a chain, even if the damage adds up and then lists 90, it essentially will be the exact same. So basically, as you're performing a combo, the damage numbers are added up. And it's kind of confusing because I was under the impression I was dealing this much damage per hit. So like, oh, 27 and then 60 and then whatever. But in reality, it's just adding it as you're going. So like in some cases, just hitting with a heavy attack will deal more damage than a 3-hit chain. Something to keep in mind. So we'll test this a little bit more just to kind of confirm this. Let's hit with this. So that's 200 damage, right? So if we hit this dude... Right, so, okay, so we hit them for like 200 something, and then we did an attack chain that ended on 200. So we can safely conclude that if each individual damage packet was subtracted from their health that's shown, they would have much less health. But as we can see here, we did less damage with this chain, because it just did 189 in that case, than we are with just a basic attack, or with a basic ability. Let me see if I can find another thing. I don't know if you can increase your weapon durability in this training thing. I feel like you should have infinite weapon durability, because like there's no, you don't like level up in here. But let's just hit with like a heavy attack. So you can see like 100 damage when it hits. Takes off a pretty big chunk. And then the basic attacks. Like I just hit 103 and it took off a sliver, so that means that that follow-up attack in the chain only did a slight increase in damage. If this is like known information about these types of games, I guess I'm just learning this, but as far as I can tell, like if you're a new player, especially if you're like a Fire Emblem player, you would think the damage is the damage. You wouldn't think that, you know, oh, I'm hitting 100 and then 200, so I'm thinking I'm hitting 300 damage. In reality, it's just adding it up as I'm going, so... Yeah, like right there, that was an insane amount, like 300. Yeah, it definitely adds it up, because if it would have added up if each one of those procs of damage would have hit, this thing would be overkill, because I hit like a 263, like a 200, then like a 180 before that. So this thing would have died. So yeah. So a weird thing I noticed about damage, I basically have to redo like 2 videos now, which is unfortunate, because I was thinking, oh, this attack, the third attack in the chain deals 3 times as much damage. No, it's just adding up like the same damage. So, alright. So we'll get back to the tutorials. I'm going to start making the tutorials on the units. I have to test a few things, but yeah, that's it for this one. If you like this, definitely like the video and subscribe. Drop a comment. Let me know what you know about damage in this game. I'm actually very interested, especially if you're a veteran of the series. I've played a lot of action games, so being able to go like do tutorials for this is something that's, you know, very reasonable for me to do, even if I'm new to Warriors games, because, you know, having the ability to analyze things, to test things, anyone can do this. So yeah, thanks for checking this out, and peace.